Hello, welcome back to PNP Kids. I'm Korea Destiny of Ascetic Life of Motherhood. Today we have a fun craft in store for you. And this is something that you can do at home using just a few simple tools. Now, I'm always looking for crafts and things that my kids can do that are perfect for a feast day. This one in particular can be used for any saint, any feast day. You'll just need a printer, a canvas, and some paint, and I know you can do it too. So let's get started, and I'll show you what you need in order to make your own mini icon, okay? Let's do it. I have these tiny little canvases, so that's how we're gonna create our icons today. But you can use watercolor paper or a sturdier paper as well. If you have that, that'll work. But in order to get the edges, it does help to have a canvas, okay? So we'll need a tiny canvas. We're gonna need some gold paint. This is acrylic gold paint, so it actually has a little bit of shininess and gold qualities to it. And then you're gonna need some red paint to go on the sides. Lastly, we're gonna need some Mod Podge, and you'll need to print a paper icon or cut out one out of a magazine or something that you have that's already printed of an icon that you would like to paint. So again, because the Feast of StDemetrios is coming up, we're gonna do StDemetrios, but truly you could do any saint, Christ, or even a feast day using this method. Okay, and then I added just one more thing, a palette to put our paint in. But again, that could be a paper plate or whatever you've got, and you're gonna need some paintbrushes. Let's get started.
Now, once you've gathered your supplies, I start with cutting out the icon first, just because we don't have paint on our hands. Again, you can use whatever icon you choose to create your little canvas. We chose StDemetrios. I can include a link below of the one we're using in particular. This would work great for a Sunday school lesson or a feast day program. For this particular activity, I would say the age range would be lower elementary. Now, preschoolers can do it as well. They're just gonna have a harder time with the fine motor skills, but they certainly can create this as well. So once we have our gold base down, I put the icon on the wet paint directly without using any kind of adhesive, because at the end we're going to use Mod Podge to seal it all up. So go ahead and stick the icon onto the wet paint, push down a little bit, and that should stick. If you have observed icons, you will notice that on the sides of them, there is red paint on the outsides. And so to mimic that, we are adding red paint to the outsides of our canvas, just to kind of create a little bit of depth as well. So there we have our little canvas DIY icon. Again, can be used with any particular saint. This is a really special way for kids to create something if they have a special affinity for a saint. The kids can also go in and add some finishing touches to the icon as well. Lastly, you're going to let it dry and add a layer of Mod Podge to seal up the icon.
Icon of StDemetrios. I want to point out something that you may not know about StDemetrios. So there are a number of saints that you'll see at church that are saints that are riding on a horse, okay? Maybe they have a spear in their hand or something. There's two that are very common that you might see at your church. I wouldn't be surprised if you have the icon of StDemetrios in your parish. So next time you're there, check it out. But what I wanted to point out are the differences between two of the main ones, okay? So typically you would see St. George and StDemetrios on a horse. Of course, there's a couple others, but these are the two main ones. Now, how do you know that the icon you're looking at is StDemetrios or St. George? St. Demetrios is always riding on a red horse. Can you see that? And below him is a man. He's protecting the city of Thessaloniki from invaders and soldiers. And so he's trying to stop them from taking over the city of Thessaloniki. So he's on a red horse. If you have an icon of St. George, take a look at it. He is riding on a white horse. And below him is a dragon that he's spearing, okay? These are two little clues you can look at to try to discern what saint is in that picture, okay? So again, you may find a couple others, but the next time you're at church, I want you to look and see if you can find St. Demetrios or St. George, and tell your mom and dad who you think it is and why. They'll be extremely impressed, I have no doubt. And while you're there, ask them for their prayers. St. Demetrios, pray for me. St. George, pray for me. These two saints in particular are wonderful saints to turn to when we are afraid or we need protection. We can ask for the saints for their help. And this is one way we can do that. We can say, please pray for me. Protect me.
Now, one final thing before we go, I want to show you the Church of St. Demetrios. It's in Thessaloniki, Greece. My family and I visited there several years ago, and I'm going to take you on a short tour. Below the Solea, there is an ancient site where St. Demetrios was not only kept for his imprisonment, but where he was murdered. And so you can go to this church in Thessaloniki in Greece and take a tour below the ancient ruins of the Church of the St. Demetrios. St. Demetrios was a Christian, and he was living during a time where it was illegal to be a Christian, and he was put in prison and kept in this ancient bathhouse, and that's where he spent his last days alive. Eventually, he was murdered for his faith, but he continued to protect the city of Thessaloniki. They built this beautiful church above his martyrdom site, and over the years it has been attacked and demolished and rebuilt. It's quite incredible. I hope you get the chance one day to go and visit. Well, I hope you enjoyed our video about St. Demetrios and our DIY canvas mini icons. I pray that you have a blessed feast of St. Demetrios. May we have his boldness, his faith, and his prayers, and especially his blessing. Blessed feast.